Burns, sorry, Mark. Janet Burns. Janet is a project management professional. Janet is going to share with you her experience fighting the good fight as a project manager. And her subject this evening is cocktail napkin project management.
Now come on, how many of you can buy into cocktail napkin project management? All right. Now how many of you have managed projects in your career? Good. How many of you have managed projects in your personal life? Everybody, right? All right, so that's my topic, cocktail napkin project management. How to make it easy, simple, and to fit into everyday projects and into everyday cultures. So what I want to talk about is how I had to do that in my professional career. So my agenda is, how did it all begin? Why would you use cocktail napkin project management? What does it look like? How do you make it work for you? And I have a few samples, just examples of how I've used it and how you might use it in your future. So the beginning was, I was working at the New York Times. Anybody read the New York Times here? And after that I went to work for MTV. I'll talk about them also. Very different cultures to manage projects. Very informal cultures, didn't like a lot of process. So what was wrong with the process there? People felt like they couldn't follow it, like it was inadequate. When they asked questions, they felt like they were doing something wrong. They were turned off by the PM lingo. So they wanted something different. And I found that many organizations are similar to that. They're what I call process challenged. And these are a list of the organizations that I find that way. Academic organizations, family-run, nonprofits. So that's how cocktail napkin project management was born. I had to find something easy, simple, back of the napkin, flexible, and I introduced it about 4 years ago on a night like this. So one of the quotes that drives me is this quote: "You never change something by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model." Does that sound familiar? Anybody build a new model tonight, earlier? Those mouse traps? So the term back of a napkin means simple. Jot down a few things, make it real easy. What's the core of what you need to do? The fine print is that that may not be the thing that you use forever, but you have to start with something that will get people engaged in the process. So it's hard to sell sometimes to people that don't buy in to the whole process. So here's how to create your cocktail napkin. First of all, look through all the methodologies and pick out what's important to you. What are the key tools? What does my organization value? What's the core of project management? Here's the core: time, cost, and scope. So tonight, Drew, you had the scope, right? How many speakers? 8. How much time?
5 minutes apiece.
Oh my God, 5 minutes apiece. And what's the cost? So work with those 3 things and define them with simple, easy-to-use templates. Something like a charter for the scope. Something like a very simple milestone chart for the time, not a whole Microsoft project schedule, just something simple. More of the core, I think, is communication. How do you report what's going on, status? And also risk. How do you brainstorm what might go wrong? So here's some of the things that we use at the Times: charter, template, status report, milestone charts, and easy-to-use WBS workshops with Post-it notes. And then I worked at Viacom. Similar process with the software development lifecycle. Very easy to use, simple templates, processes that people could follow. And now I'm working on a large Six Sigma program. And anybody here work on Six Sigma? So, 2 people in the back there. So very rigid, formulaic process. We've broken it down into 3 steps: define, analyze, and recommend. So the things to remember about cocktail napkin: make it very simple. You need to be able to write on the back of the napkin. Tailor it to your organization. Make it in different colors. And if you're not failing every now and again, it's a very good sign that you're not doing anything very innovative. And one more thought to leave you with. I'm either waiting or I'm far ahead. Just because something is tradition doesn't make it right. Amen. So find a way game and try something new. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janet Burns.
Burns. B-U-R-N-S. Burns. Burns.
Okay.